Pappy's back this week, and we're hoping to have a better week this week instead of the craziness that went on with that fire we had last week. Uh, I did replace the fire blankets. I learned a hard lesson. Those things need to be mounted securely to the wall. I put a screw in the wall and I hung it on the screw, and I thought that would be sufficient. Here's a new one. You can see it's got a, looks like about a 3/8 hole. And I grabbed this thing when I had a fire, and you're supposed to pull these two straps, and that helps you deploy the blanket. You hold it out like that when you pull it out of the satchel, and then you lay it across the fire, per its instructions. And I wasn't thinking when I hung these up, so I've taken a fender washer and put the screw through it, so it's anchored. This thing will be anchored. And as you can see last week, I did a turnaround, trying to get this thing out of the bag. It looked like I was looking for the fire extinguisher, which I already knew where it was. I was trying to put it out with this, just so I didn't get all that powder all up in the engine. But being that it didn't work, and this is made for something flat. This would work better on like a carburetor on a V8 or something, not on a lawnmower with a big gap, but under it, the fire continued to burn. It did contain it more until I got the fire extinguisher out and then deployed it. But there was no real harm done though. The carburetor, when I cracked it open, it's through. It's full of trash and everything. So it had ethanol-based fuel, and it had rusted and just corroded it so bad that even though the linkage got, melted off of it during the fire, it wasn't anything left of that carburetor on the inside. So I'm not out anything with the carburetor. It needed to be replaced. As far as the rest of the stuff, I'm out one fire extinguisher, and I really think, I've replaced those blankets. I've got a couple more new ones, and I'll anchor them properly, with a fender washer. So we're going to do that. And I've got another extinguisher on order. It hasn't made it here yet, but I've got one more still down here. So I do take fire seriously around cars. You gotta, and I thought enough to push that mower outside when I tried to crank it, because I knew it had a gimmicky fuel system, and I was just trying to get it to run. There was a few things I could have done to prevent what happened. Number one, I should have replaced all the fuel lines and not even tried to start it with that float ball leaking. Sometimes you could tap on them and they'll stop. I was hoping if I got it to run, maybe it would, but after I broke that open, there was no way you'd ever stop that thing from leaking. It had so much trash in it. In fact, I can show you that. I'll go get that right now. As you can see all the trash in that. It's just full of rust and all. That float, yeah, so what? It moves, but there was so much gook in there. It needed a new needling seat, but even if I had done that, all this other buildup all along here, I bet everything on it was plugged up. It did burn all the little plastic choke lever off of it right there. Like I said, I'm not out anything. A whole carburetor's under $20. One of the, I'm getting it from overseas apparently, because it's taken a while for it to come in. But hey, it's just an old lawnmower. I don't want to invest a lot of money in it. I got $200 in the whole thing, plus $20 for a carburetor, which I was going to have to buy anyway. So with that said, we're going to move on. Due to the camera being mounted to me, I didn't show any video of me installing these fire extinguishers and stuff, so I'm going to take it through by hand. I've got to come up with some type of a head mount, I guess, because it's not working when it's to my chest. You can't see what I'm working on when I'm working above my chest line, which that's where these extinguishers were. So with that said, we'll just move on, but I'll show you what I've done. I've installed fire extinguisher and a fire blanket midways here in the shop, as you can see. And then I installed one down here at the other end of the shop, fire extinguisher and fire blanket. And then across from it, there's another fire blanket. And then on this side, here's the other extinguisher I had the other day, right there. So that's on this side. And this will be the other work area, you know. There's the garage door. You come in through here, and you can have a car a long ways through here. When you have, the Firebird is going to be moved down here later on. But that'll be next week. We're not getting that done today. But anyway, that's it for this week. And if you could, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. We're going to have some good footage coming up soon, you know, of all these projects I've got going on. Like installing the dump unit. This pile of parts here. There's hydraulic ram and pump and everything, and all of this stuff was working when it came off of my old 74. I'm going to try to put it on a Ranger, make it a dump truck. That'll be unusual. And then I got a pile of water pumps and fans and so forth. I got to fix the cooling system. So that's what's next on the agenda. But until next week, there again, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, please. It's free. Thank you.